I've cut the backing board up to the carving. So the backing board is still behind the carving and strengthening it, and I still have a paper sandwich going on here. And I've decided to hold it in this system, which is one called a Jerry-Rig, that's its trade name, but it's very much the sort of adjustable clamp I've used elsewhere on the site, except this one's more readily available. It consists of a ball here, so this can spin in any direction, which is great. It actually turns on its base and locks, so I can lock that. And I think you can see that it's held, the carving is held by this little plate. So there's two substantial screws that go into the back of the carving into some point that's going to be quite thick. What's really good about this way of holding is I'll be able to get to the top here or the bottom here. Remember the flowers go round, and to the ends quite happily without anything getting in the way. I'll still have to remove the paper sandwich by splitting the paper here, but that's the last thing I'll do, and I can do that easily enough anyway. So with the carving held so I can really get at it, I'm ready to start working on these flowers. My plan now is to make a good second pass. In other words, to take this starting point and refine these a little bit more, so that this flower here becomes a bit more like this one. I'm not going to put in the details. I am going to try and find a good edge, but I'm not going to undercut because I might be able to, or might need to move these backwards and forwards. So I'll probably start here and do a couple of these flowers. I'll certainly go to the ends, and then I'll sort of join in. So the sort of tools we're going to need are probably no more than 1/2 inch wide, probably more like 3/8, 10mm, and down to 1/4 inch, 6mm. So these are sort of size of tools. We go carefully, now we've got the main shape, trying to find these flowers and placing them a bit more accurately and clearly. When I'm dividing up the flowers, what I want to do is make sure that a junction sort of comes into a place that doesn't interfere with anything else, so it's clear of some other optical thing. For example, I wouldn't put it here where this edge comes down like that. I put it over here, hope for the best. So these will be my junctions, roughly 5 of them, and I'm not going to put them in for the moment, but I am going to just clean up this edge. Start this one more. So this flat area here is a bunch of small filler flowers. So I just need a sort of flat area to remind me that's going on. There's one flower set in, and I'm going to have this one pointing like that. I've got a second one up here. The second one up here, just setting it in right up close. So I have a third one coming round underneath this edge, but touching those two as it goes round. So what I'm left with here will be, if you see, just a tiny little triangular. I'll take a little bit out. I don't have to take it out at the moment, but a little triangular recess, and that's all the sort of shadow we can have between these two flowers. But it's going to be quite dark and quite pushed in. So I'm going to work on this flower. Again, get this. I'm trying to lose some of that roundedness here, keep it flat. And there's this one over here. And this one will go down underneath this flower here. So not undercutting, just quietly. Now this one, you can see this edge will have to come down here, so I'm going to have to drop that back a little further. So what happens is a sort of relativity goes on. So once I adjust one flower, I have to adjust the other one, and there's a limit to how far you can adjust without adjusting a third one, so you keep going back and forward juggling. So that's why nothing's too fixed at the moment. I think this flower, but again I'll make a bit flat, we'll have a central sort of daisy like flower. There'll be a bit of a central here. This will do this one, and it'll come up quite tight under there. So again there's a little triangular bit here. Now that might be something I'll make into one of those little filler flowers. So I'm not going to take too much out of there. Let's take a little bit off there so I can see I've got a little bit of wood left. And then this area here, which I need to fill in, I'm going to fill in with of these sort of little ones here, like this. So this one will be one like that, this will be one like this, and so on. So again, being a bit clearer about what's going on here. Now this one up here, which I think you can see, this is a sort of tulip going inside. So inside those stalks here. So I'm going to start dressing that around. To get these stalks and these buds three-dimensional, I'm going to have to go in deeper. So at the moment I'm still being a little bit tentative, and I will make another pass, rounding this more open tulip off here. So come up to here, and then this flower will have to go behind it. So going through the backing board here. So this mess here will be my, let's clean that off. So we'll have a central bit like this, central petal. And have the side petals here, and then this bit underneath will be the other side of the tulip. If you remember, this one was quite three-dimensional. So if this is the other side of the tulip down here, like that, and we can go in there, then this flower is too high, so I need to take this even further back. Then as I come up to here, I can start making these buds a little bit rounder. Now this one's below that, so this must be back there. Perhaps some other stalk down here, something. We don't know what that is, but it'll just add to the effect. Here's the carving at the end of the second pass. I brought the stalks up inside the flowers at each end here, made them quite strong at the bud end. The flowers I've got all in the right positions relative to each other. They also wrap around, so what this does is it breaks up the outline, makes it less cylinder-like, and there are these half flowers that you'll see naturally as if the swag was going around the corner. I've got various filling places I need to deal with, but essentially I've got everything in position. So the next stage is to start refining these flowers.